Hello, welcome back. Hope we're all here. We want to start the next session now. So we want to start with, now you know you need to cluster your ideas. You have 5 ways you've clustered them. So how do you put them into opening, body, and closing? So how do you open your speech? How do you start your speech? Okay? The first thing is you must try to get your audience attention. And I think experts have told us that we have 3 to 10 minutes to do that. Within the first 3 to 10 minutes, it's either you get the attention of your audience or you lose them throughout your presentation. So the first thing you need to know is to use the word sharp. Now, we defined what sharp means yesterday. We say sharp is an acronym for stories, humor, analogies, references, and then pictures. That's what we said sharp mean. I hope we can still remember. Sharp is an acronym that stands for stories, humor, analogies, references, and quotes, then pictures. Okay, so you could start with a story, you could start with a humor, you could start with analogy, you could start by references or statistics, you could start by showing them a picture. So while everybody are looking at that picture, you will now get everybody's attention to yourself, and then you begin to start. Or you could start with an interaction. You could ask them, if you are 3 ways to grow your business, you could start with, how many people here wants to grow their business? You could start with a question, how many people want to grow their business? And then you get people raise their hand. You could ask 1 or 2 persons to give, ideas or ways or opinions on why he or she wants to grow his business. So the first thing you must do is, how do I get the attention of my audience first? That's your first concern. And that's in the opening. How do I get my audience attention? I remember when I went to speak to in the Nigerian Medical Association during their annual general meeting. And everywhere was rowdy, everywhere was noisy. I now started talking, start with a story about how a doctor helped me and my daughter. And within 1 minute, everywhere was quiet. And they were all looking at me. I was amazed how stories could capture the attention of your audience. So a very compelling story could draw all your audience to you within the first 5 minutes. And you could keep them in that state till you finish your presentation. So the first thing in your mind is, how do I get the attention of my audience? Okay, so these are the first thing that you need to do. The second thing after you've gotten the attention is, tell them the point of view, your point of view. For example, you could tell them, after you've gotten the attention, you could state the overall point of view by saying, people in this era of post-COVID-19 businesses are going to be much more successful than pre-COVID-19. That's your point of view. That's what you want to say. So you state, after you've gotten the attention, you state your point of view, your overall point of view that you want to share with them. And then you now give them 1 action step they must take by telling them, so people who want to succeed in their business must go online. And then you now give them the benefit they stand to gain if they go online by telling them, those who hook their business online will have more viewers, more patronage. So the first thing you must do is to get the attention. The second thing you do in your opening is, tell them why you are there. Tell them why they are there. Okay, and tell them what you feel. Remember opening, see, tell them what you want to tell them. So tell them why they are there. And then when you tell them what they must do immediately. And then tell them what they stand to gain. So the opening is already startling them. It's already making them, wow, you mean this is what we are here to get. So everybody is now awake. Everybody is now alive to listen to whatever you can say. Don't drag the opening. Don't make the opening boring. Strike the iron sharp and hot in your opening. This is very important. So arrange your opening like this. First, sharp. Next, point of view, followed by action steps, followed by benefit. That order is very crucial, please. Opening by sharp, overall point of view, general action steps, overall benefit. That sequence, again, is very important. So when you have done that, you would have had a very effective opening in any subject matter that you are dealing with. Okay, so after you've opened your speech, you are now going to the body of your speech. So what do? So you now begin to bring in your speech, your findings, your content, to simply buttress what you have said in your opening. That's what you do in the body of the speech. You've given them a point of view, so why should they buy into your point of view? Why should they follow your own advice? You're now trying to persuade them, motivate them, make them laugh, whatever you want to do, just to help them buy into your own ideas. That's all. Communication is just about selling ideas. So, but why should I hear your own ideas? Why should I do what you want me to do? That is all that you do in the body of the speech.
Lento, sorry.
Yes, sir.
You are not sharing your screen. You are not seeing the slide again.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so we're only hearing your voice.
I thought, can you see it now?
No, it's not sharing.
But I can see the slides.
Okay, all right. Maybe,
I
could
can
it?
see it too.
I can also see the slide.
Oh, okay, please.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, see it now.
Oh, okay. Can you also all hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I think I'm very handsome. I'm seeing myself. Can you also see me?
We can see
Okay.
and
Okay. All right. Thank you. So in the body, what you are trying to do is your point of view. You are buttressing your point of view using your reasons, using your personal experience, personal stories, using the pictures, graphics, props, anything, using humors, using examples, using stories, using statistics, using analogy. All that you are doing in the body of your speech is to convince your audience that your point of view is the one they should embrace. So, and you must have a good number of this content. You must have enough reasons, enough personal experience, graphics. You must have them during your research. You would have gathered them more than enough, and then bring them to bear when you are in the body of your speech, because that is where they really belong. That brings us to the much awaited 3x3 matrix. As you can see it on the screen, it's a very simple way of arranging your thoughts. And it's the most effective way I have found so far. For instance, I don't bother myself writing my speech. If you ask me to talk on anything now, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what do I want these people to know about this subject matter? Once I get that first message, and I'll say, okay, what 3 ways can I use to talk about this matter? So you have your first key point, second key point, third key point. Then the next thing that comes to my mind is, what do I use to support each key point? That's all. I'm finished with my speech. So the 3x3 method simply means you have 3 key points, and then you have 3 sub-key points for each key point. So you have 3 key points, and then you have 3 sub-key points. That's a 3x3 matrix. So for instance, you are speaking on 3 ways to buttress to succeed in your business. That is what you have in mind. So 3 ways. Key point 1 will be 1 way. Key point 2 will be second way. Key point 3 will be the third way. And then how do I buttress key point 1? You have 3 simple short points. And then you have 3 short points for the second one, 3 short points for the third one, and your speech is done. So during your practice, what you are really looking at is, I have point 1, point 2, point 3. Okay. So on the other hand, I have sub point 1, sub point 2, sub point 3. So all that you are gathering to your head is your sub point and key point. Once you remember the key point, you will also remember all the stories around the key point. And once you remember the sub-key point, you will also remember all the stories around it. So the key point and the sub-point are like your milestones, like your signs that tell you. So it is easy for you to move your audience with you and say, we are going next to this, next to this, next to this. And why people love the 3x3 matrices? With the 3x3 matrix, you could talk for 10 hours without using a note. Because under sub point 1, you are allowed to use as many stories as you want, as many statistics as you want. So you can just be playing around it. Even if they say talk for 3 minutes, 1 minute is for key point 1, 1 minute is for, and if I have 5 to 7 minutes, because in Toastmasters, you are allowed to speak for 5 to 7 minutes. The way I prepare my speech is 1 minute for key point 1, 1 minute for key point 2, 1 minute for key point 3. So I already have 3 minutes. 1 minute for introduction, 1 minute for closing. So I have 5 minutes already. So I have my minimum number of minutes done. So I give myself the other 2 minutes to just add extra stories and whatever I want to add. So the 3x3 matrix is one of the most effective way to construct your ideas and make a very powerful presentation. Almost all professional public speakers use this method. You could literally visualize your speech in just a click of the finger. The first thing you ask yourself is, what do I want to talk about? Ways to be successful. Fine. So what are my 3 main points? You list them. How do I portray those 3 main points? Using 3 simple points. You talk about them, and then you are done. All right, let's see a simple example. Okay. The general key point is, the best public speaker have great listening skills. That is, I have used, that's my key point 1. I'm concentrating on key point 1 now. And under key point 1, I said, the best public speakers have great listening skills. So my sub point 1 is, there are 3 basic listening skills. So you can spend 1 hour talking about the 3 basic listening skills, using examples, using stories, using everything you want to do. They are all the 3 ways of basic skills of listening. And then once you are done, you now said, according to Harvard Business Review, bright people listen well. And then you could talk about what the Harvard Review document describes, what they did, what they didn't do, why you believe they need. And then if you have a personal story to add to it, why that one is important. And then sub point one simply means you now say, my greatest achievement in relationship is due to my capacity to listen effectively. And then you can start from the story from when you were born, when you didn't even know your name, and then begin to talk all the way to when you toasted your wife, and then now a whole thing. So you could spend another 1 hour there if you have the luxury of time. And then finally, you come back to your key point by restating it to say, to become exceptional public speaker, you need to develop your listening skills. So right there, you have started with your key point and then you've ended with your key point. It's very important. So with this now, your audience will now understand, because sub key point one, sub point two, sub point three are just used to buttress what the general key point is saying. Best public speakers have great listening skills. And to reinstate it at the end, to make sure that it sticks, you now tell them, for them to become exceptional public speaker, they need to develop their listening skills. So they would have known the three basic listening skills. They would have known what Harvard Business Review has said about listening skill, why it helps people become bright. They would have learned about the importance of listening skill by listening to your own personal story. So with this now, you will be speaking like, better than Brian Tracy, I tell you, in just the shortest possible time. For me, this is the magic for public speaking mastery. If you master this, you won't have problem at all. Now, when you are done, you must start. You remember, in opening, you start with sharp. In closing, you end with sharp. Please note the sequence. In opening, you begin with sharp. In closing, you end with sharp. So in closing, you start with stating your overall point of view, 3 ways to become exceptional business person. Then you show them the action steps again. You give them the benefit, and then you end with a very strong story, a very strong statistics, a very strong word that will move your audience to action. Because the sharp is what they will remember. And if it is a quote, a very relevant, strong quote, but that's what most times they will remember. And once they remember that story, they will likely remember 70% of the entire speech. So you end with a very strong, sharp, very strong interaction, or any other thing that will keep their memory intact in your speech. For me, I think once you remember the 3 P's, prepare, practice, present, I'm sure you would have been halfway into remembering, if not 50% of what we've discussed. I just congratulate myself by saying 60%. I don't know, but that's my own opinion. So you've seen how to effectively open your speech, how to talk about the body, and how to close. So my advice to you is, after this training, for every other presentation that you have, just make sure that you follow these simple steps. Again, before I move to practice, I will pause and ask if there are questions. Is there any question?
Okay, my question is, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
The 3x3 metrics, can it also be used by beginners? Like,
Yes.
I feel I feel like you have to be so professional to use this because it's still like I've not really gotten a very good hold of it, even after
Okay.
you share.
Okay, Okalo,
Yeah.
let's use a simple example. Could you tell me three things? Could you tell me three things you like about yourself?
Oh wow. Okay. I'm a very beautiful lady,
Wow, beautiful lady. Okay, where's one?
and I'm tall,
You're tall. Okay,
smart.
smart. Fantastic. So the first key point is I'm beautiful. So what would you describe? I have a round face. I have a this and that and that and that. Abi, then tall, 6 feet, 3 feet, 7 feet. You could describe that using any story, anything you want to use. And then smart, you said you could talk about that for an hour, I'm sure. So it could be used by anybody. We can see that we have finished your speech now with just those 3 points: beautiful, tall, smart. Key point one, beautiful. Key point two, tall. Key point three, smart.
Okay. Wow.
Can you see now? So your speech is ready. So what do you want to tell people about your beauty? I mean, that's sub point one, sub point two, sub point three. What do you want to tell people about your height? You could divide them into three. What do you want to tell people about being smart? Can divide that into three, and your speech is ready.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Can you see how simple it is?
I think I also understand it better now.
Yeah, I mean, the professional uses it, the amateur uses it, the beginner uses it, the middle person uses it. Everybody should simply use this. I mean, it demystifies public speaking as a whole.
Hmm.
Any other question?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Okalo. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at the top of public speaking.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other question? Any other question before we move on? Okay, so it means every other person has gotten it so far. So we could move to the final aspect, to practice. In real sense, practice comes before the presentation using the 3x3 matrix. But because we're talking about the body of the speech, I had to put the practice, the 3x3 matrix before practice. So the first way to practice is practice with your mind. And what I mean by this is create the picture. For instance, the picture I have for this training is everybody is going to be happy at the end of the training. Please, if you are not happy, let me know. But I'm sure everybody will be happy at the end of this training. So visualize the outcome, visualize the audience, visualize the venue, visualize the outcome, visualize the presentation, and then visualize yourself on the stage. Visualize everything, see everything from start to finish. It's very important. In fact, it's one of the most important way to practice your speech because it has been proven over and over that the pictures you have in your mind are exactly what will play out in real life. So by all means, create the most beautiful picture about yourself as a public speaker. Your subconscious mind will take that picture and begin to manufacture it in your real life. By all means, create the most beautiful picture of yourself as a competent professional public speaker. How it will happen, forget about that. Nature will conspire to bring it to pass. So every time you want to speak, instead of asking yourself if you are qualified to speak, believe that you are qualified to speak, and actually go ahead to speak as somebody who believes he or she is qualified to speak. And then visualize how you are going to speak using your 3x3 matrix. What are you going to say first? What idea needs to come first? What idea needs to come second? Are you going to use the cause and effect? Are you going to use chronological method? Are you going to use the causal method? Whatever method. So you begin to put them in place. And I tell you, you will be happy while doing that in your mind. And also in your mind, you could be, we know how to talk to ourselves. Sometimes when I see the distance is too far, 2 kilometers to trek, I'll just create one story in my mind, and my mind will be discussing it as we walk. Before I know it, I have reached my destination. So we all know how to talk to ourselves. So begin to talk to yourself about the presentation. Begin to visualize it in your mind, and then begin to look at those key points and sub points in your mind, and then using your questions and answers period, try to see ideas that could come to replace other ideas. I said earlier that you need minimum of 50 ideas. Now from the 3x3 matrix, you could have just 9 of them. Out of the 50, you might streamline it to just 9 of them. You don't need more than 9 to give 2 hours lecture in a normal case. So you could streamline them to just 9. Or you can streamline them to 15. If you have time, you could streamline them to that 50. But the idea is make sure you have so much content that you chunk out the ones that are not very good and you leave the best ones that you want to use. But make sure you have a reservoir of so many ideas to speak from. Okay. The second way to practice is, like we said yesterday, is in front of a mirror. Just use your gesture in front of a mirror, use your hand, your leg, your eye. Actually simulate how you will do it on stage. By all means, learn to raise your hand. And one way to stand on the podium is make sure your hand is facing your audience. Don't keep your hand like this, backing the audience. Keep your hand facing the audience when you are standing in front of them. Worst case scenario, keep your hand straight by your side, but don't keep your hand backing your audience, and don't fold your hand behind your back. So while you are in front of the mirror, make sure you practice these gestures. Speak as you would speak at the stage, and then do all the gimmicks. In fact, laugh. Make sure you always laugh. If you're a public speaker and you don't laugh, your audience will feel that it is a battlefield that they found themselves, and then you should round up and let them go. So smile, laugh, and make sure the environment is conducive for everybody. And then while you are also practicing, practice what you have created in your mind. That expert that you've seen, begin to practice. You could also pick a particular public speaker and try to see how the person does it. That will really help you to improve fast. You can pick any international public speaker that you know. We have several of them. We have Jim Rohn, we have Brian Tracy, we have quite a lot of them. So pick anyone that you want and then see how they speak to their audience. We have Obama, we have many of them. So please feel free, pick any one of them and try to replicate what they do, but make sure you don't lose your ingenuity and uniqueness. Don't be like any of them. The third way you can practice is in front of your friends. I mean, if you have caring friends that have time to listen to what you say, call them and then rehearse your speech. You might not rehearse. If you have a 2-hour speech, you don't need to rehearse a whole 2 hours. Just pick those salient points. You can just pick your introduction, pick one of the key points, and then close with your closing, and then ask them for their feedback. And when they give you the first feedback, incorporate that feedback into what they say, and then present it again. And if they have much more time to listen to you, please keep presenting until they are satisfied or you are satisfied. Finally, you could practice with a recorder. Record yourself. Sometimes I dread listening to myself after the speech, but you can do that on your own. Listen to how those words were coming out. Be free. I mean, when you listen to it once, I'm sure you will see areas you need to improve on, and then improve on those areas, and then listen to it again, and then listen to it again. And if you can send it to somebody to help you listen to it and give you his or her feedback. I mean, like I said, Brian Tracy rehearses his speech for up to 50 times. I mean, that is amazing. So there's no limit to how many times you need to rehearse your speech. It could be minimum of 10, could be as high as 500, I don't know. But practice until you have developed enough confidence that you have what it takes to deliver your speech. So that is the few things I will say on that practice. Because of our time. Again, I'll give 3 minutes to ask if there are questions. Does anybody have questions related to practice? Any question?
Please, I don't know, do we have, if you could give us an example of, like press speakers here in Nigeria, where we can check their speech and every other thing as an example.
Where we can do what?
Where we can check their speech, how they present their speech. That's the ones here in Nigeria, not the ones outside.
I think YouTube is a very classic destination I could recommend for you. Almost all the professional speakers in Nigeria, and outside Nigeria are on YouTube. So if you know their name, just type in their name, search for their names. I'm sure you'll see 1 or 2 videos which they have uploaded, and you could listen to them. So YouTube is my only, and maybe Facebook. If you are their friends, if you are friends on Facebook, or you could just search for them on Facebook and then check if they have such videos on their page, and then you could listen to them. Sorry. So YouTube and Facebook will be the 2 options I will recommend for you. Okay? Or better still, you can ask Musa, he's an encyclopedia. I'm sure he should be able to help us here too.
So, but you've given the main source. YouTube now takes care of almost everything.
No, I need to add the encyclopedia now. That is a
No, but then even the encyclopedia is on YouTube. So
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Google and YouTube, I think I got the solutions to almost all the questions now.
Okay. So the encyclopedia has told us, so you can check those 2 sources. I'm sure you'll find something very amazing. Any other question, please? All right, so we go to the last segment of the training, which is to actually present. You've done all your clustering, you've done all your arrangement. Now it's time to present. The D-Day has come and everybody is seated waiting for you. You have been introduced and called to the podium. They've given you the mic, and then all eyes are fixed on you. So what do? We have shown you how to start, we've shown you how to do the body, we've shown you how to close. So the first thing in your mind is your content. Please, if you know you'll forget your content, write it down somewhere. If you know you will miss your lines, write it down somewhere so that if you miss it, you can always go back to it. Now, please observe the audience. Observe the audience. Is it a very organized audience? Is it the audience that anybody can stand up and go anywhere they want to go without any sign? Is it a venue that people can come in and go out as they want? Please observe the environment so that if you're going to speak where people can come in and go out and there's nothing you can do, you can structure your mind to adjust to that environment. Be familiar with that environment before you even climb the stage. And then master your delivery. That should have been done during practice. Master that delivery at your fingertips. Now, the first thing you need to do is you must be as clear as you can be. Please don't leave your audience guessing. And then once in a while, observe whether they are still focused on you. The beauty about the audience is if they're enjoying what you're saying, they'll be looking at you. They will not be looking at their phones. And so if you are speaking and 50% are already looking at their phones, by all means, stop and look for attention getter. Whatever will help you at that point, don't just continue talking. Pause and look for something that will bring their attention back. So clarity is very important when you are delivering your speech. In fact, it's the most important thing. Clarity, clarity, clarity. People must understand what you're saying. And that's why clustering your ideas using a particular pattern is very important. So that they must know where you are coming from, they must know where you are going to, and they must also know when you've actually arrived at your destination. That sequence must be there. So when you stand to speak, please, you must be clear. And that means you cannot speak too fast, you cannot speak too slow. Because in your audience, you have people who speak fast, some speak slowly. So you have to blend it. You need to blend those capacities to help you. And another thing you must always use while you're on stage is your voice. I'm giving a training now, that's why I'm speaking like this. I'm actually delivering a speech. I needed to use vocal variety a lot. And I'm sure I've used it several times when I reiterate some aspects of the training that are very important. So your pitch, your volume, your tone has to do with the emotions. For instance, if you are talking about someone who is happy, like I said yesterday, your emotion should show it in the tone. I was listening to one young man that read mock news, and he said 2 people killed 8-year-old child. And he said 8-year-old child. I mean, 8-year-old child. How could people kill 8-year-old child? By the time he repeated it the 5th time, I was almost like, who are these people that killed the 8-year-old child? You know, because he places so much emphasis on 8-year-old child. And then everybody become curious. Why did this happen? So your tone is when you are trying to emphasize an idea, and please, you have to emphasize it in such a way that the audience will get the emotions behind your voice. It's very important. And then your volume. If you are not using mic, speak so that the last person behind the audience will hear you. Always improve your audience. And please make sure you are not shouting. There's difference between speaking for people to listen to you and then shouting. Once you begin to, because there are some people, even when they are using microphone, they talk as if their audience is sitting 2 kilometers away from them. And so their voice becomes noise. Don't let that happen to you. When you are speaking, your volume must just be right. Speak for the last person in the hall to hear what you're saying. And then your body language too. Your eye is one of the most effective medium of communication while you're on stage. Please look at people. Don't look at the ceiling, don't look at the floor. Don't look at people less than 3 to 5 seconds, and really look at them eyeball to eyeball. And don't be shy. Because most times when you look at somebody and the person turns his or her eye to look at you, you remove your eye. Don't do that from the stage. Look at the person and look at the person emotionally and very passionately, and let the person know, oh, this person is actually interested in making me know what I'm saying, what he's saying. So it's very important. And then the fourth thing is you must be aware of your audience. Like I said, don't lose your audience and don't let your audience lose you. Focus on them. That message is useless if it's not making any impact on them. Don't talk about yourself. Talk about your audience. It's very important. Don't talk about yourself. Don't go there for a 20-minute speech and you say, I want to tell you when I'm doing this, when I'm turning here, when I'm jumping there, they are not talking to them. You are talking to yourself. You are talking about yourself, and they are not interested. The audience is interested about you talking to them. So words like you, we are very important when you are speaking to your audience. Talk to your audience and not to yourself. And please don't let your speech be monologue. Invite them once in a while to participate so that you are sure that they are still with you. And one way to do that very effectively is to use humor. If your audience laugh during your humor, it means they are with you. If they don't, if they look lost, it means you've lost them. Or if you ask a question and then half of them are now like confused, did you want us to answer or not? Then it means you've lost them. So pay attention to your audience. And then, hello?
Yeah, I just want to come the use of voice tone, like you said earlier. I also think maybe your voice tone and pitch also depends on your confidence level and how relaxed you are, how comfortable you are with front of your audience.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree. But like we said on how to overcome stage fright, please don't show your audience you are scared.
No.
You have to try not to show them that you are scared. Talk very comfortably, relaxed, and very confidently.
Okay.
So when you're on stage, like I said, nobody is going to beat you, nobody is going to harass you. So be confident, be relaxed, and don't hang yourself, because once you hang yourself, they will observe the nervousness, and then you might lose some lines, and then you are knocked off, and all that, and all that. And then let me just say this. Don't ever apologize to your audience. Don't ever, 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 ever apologize to your audience. Don't ever apologize. Don't tell them, well, I didn't have time to prepare for this training. Well, just bear with me. Don't ever say that. It is an insult on your audience. I attended a training that some time ago, and the speaker said, well, I was just informed last night, so I didn't have time to prepare the slide very well, so bear with me. And eventually she lost me because every other thing I was just wondering. I mean, I prepared for this program, and here you are telling me that you are not prepared to tell me anything useful. So you will lose some of your audience immediately if you tell them that. So never apologize. Like I said yesterday, if you fail because you didn't prepare, shame on you. If you fail because you become frightened, you lose your speech, well, fine, that's okay. But if you fail because you didn't prepare, shame on you. It is not correct that you stand before your audience unprepared. It is not correct. I don't know how I would have felt if all I've been saying here doesn't make sense to you. I'm sure some of you would have just left the training. It is not correct at all. Prepare, 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 and please don't give excuses why that speech cannot be of international standard. By no means must you do that. So your delivery is basically in two forms, the verbal and non-verbal. The verbal and non-verbal. Use the two of them effectively, and you would have become one of the best speaker you've ever known. 6 months minimum, maximum from now. And when you are done, please ask for feedback. Like I'm going to ask all of you to give me feedback on what I have done well and areas I need to improve on, because I know there are still better ways to deliver this training than what I have done. So ask them what they love about your speech, ask them what they think you should have done differently, and ask them what they enjoyed about the speech. You could ask the host, you could ask some members of the audience who may come to you after your presentation, may use that opportunity to ask them what they think about your speech. All right, that brings us to the end of the training. In conclusion, mastery of public speaking is just 3 simple steps: prepare, practice, present. Be confident every time you speak. Use the 3x3 matrix. Present with your verbal and non-verbal capabilities. And then I'll be looking forward to seeing you at the top. Congratulations. Thank you for attending this 2 days training. And before I forget, I want to specially thank Toastmaster Al Hassan. Honestly, I really, really, really appreciate you. You really boost this training massively. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you for your patience listening to me for the last 2 days. I hope that you gained something. Your time was worthwhile. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone, so much. Make arrangement to send the training to all of us. And at this juncture, I would like to say congratulations to all of us for becoming international public speaker. So questions, contributions, the floor is open. You can unmute all your mic and videos. Let me see those pretty faces and handsome faces behind the lockdown, Zoom lockdown. So everybody is free to talk now. Please.
I have a question.
All right, sir.
Yes. Fear is an involuntary action sometimes.
Yes.
It's not something that you can easily control, especially for newbies like me. You get to the stage and you have stage fright, and sometimes what you want to say might not come out the way you want to say it, or you might be too tense to deliver it the way you have practiced it.
Yes.
What is your advice or your suggestion in how to manage this uncontrollable emotion sometimes?
Well, just be like a baby. A baby, when he's learning to walk, he doesn't mind falling like 500 times and will stand up and still continue walking. Honestly, no public speaker has completely dealt with fear of public speaking. They just learn how to manage it. The experience is whenever you are about to go to stage. Some people felt like going to the restroom like 50 times before they are called to the stage. But once you climb the podium, most times your confidence come up. One way I will advise is just keep speaking. Even if you fail, just continue speaking. Even if people laugh at you, just continue speaking. After a while, unconsciously, you would have developed confidence. Then the second thing is visualize yourself as somebody who will never give up until you arrive at your destination. Just tell yourself, I will never give up until I arrive at my destination. And I tell you, with such mindset, it doesn't matter what people say, it doesn't matter how many people laugh at you, you will always arrive at your destination. So, one, your determination will help you. Two, the picture you have about yourself. Three, the attitude of a child who is learning how to walk will also help you. So be like the child. I mean, the child could fall 500 times and doesn't care. Stand up and just continue. And before you know it, the baby will be running because of his or her persistence in trying to walk. So if you apply that method, I'm sure it will really help you. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Any other question, contribution?
Hello.
Hi, Hetty.
Yeah, thank you so much for an impactful session. I have learned so much. Well, a quick one then. I just want to ask the speech I just presented. Would you please evaluate it for me and tell me areas of my strengths, weaknesses, or development? And then secondly, sir?
You are the one that spoke first today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you used quote. That was amazing. You said you want to live up to the meaning of your name. That was fantastic. And you say you are somebody who is given to paying attention to details, cleanliness, and multitasking. And I wanted to consult you on the business because multitasking is a challenge. So you did brilliantly well.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you. Then secondly, I want to make a plea. Yeah, we're done with the presentation, but I want, if you can, to assess us again to see if we've been able to, articulate all of this in practice. So I think maybe if we could just do 1 or 2 minutes video, that's another assignment or task, 1 or 2 minutes video and send to you, and then you could tell us if we were able to bring all of this that you have taught us into the limelight.
Well, Hetty, that's a very good suggestion. I forgot, I wanted to say that everybody who attended this training have access to 1 month mentorship on public speaking. Now you could decide to use that 1 minute the way you want. You can decide not to use it at all. That's left for you. But within the next 1 month, that is throughout the month of June, you can call me on any aspect of the training and then I'll put you through. And you could practice these things you've learned on your own because, people are different. Some people will put all their effort to make sure they master these skills. Some people will relax, obviously, for one reason or the other, very genuine reasons. Some people will go ahead and become much more better than me in the next 1 or 2 days, if possible. So it depends. I'm available. So after now, in the evening, I will give an assignment, which if you have time, like you said, you could record your video and send, and then I'll look at it. But if you are going to record your video at all, please follow the ideas on opening, body, and closing. And make sure you use the 3x3 matrix, even if it is just 2-minute speech. Please don't just make the speech, make sure you align it. That's the best way to learn. Align it with the 3x3 matrix. In that way, by constant use, you'll become acquainted with it.
Thank you, sir. One last thing. I don't know if there's going to be a certificate of attendance.
Yeah, Etty, you are saying my mind all the time. Yes, I will send the certificate, but it's going to be an online certificate. I'm going to send it into the general platform for everybody. So please send me your name as you would want it to appear on your certificate. You can send me or you can send it on the general platform. You can send it personally to me, whichever way you choose, so that I don't misspell your name or I don't put names the way you don't want it to appear. So please, in capital letters, send your name to me as you would want it to appear on the certificate. There will be certificate for sure.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just a final a question from me, please.
Okay.
In the course of your presentation, if there's interruption, maybe you say something that is funny and people laugh and engage in side talks and all the rest, how do you bring your audience together again? Do you just allow them to exhaust meanwhile your time is running, or what can you say, what phrase can you use to bring the attention back?
Well, like I said, there are some audience you cannot control, and there are some audience that you can control. If there is audience you can control, you could just ask, may I have your attention, please? If it is the audience that people are afraid to continue laughing and talking, just continue with your speech. When you say something serious, they will be forced to stop and listen to you. That's usually what I do when people laugh and I try to get, so you just say something very serious and then you just see everybody will raise their head and turn and look at you. That's how to control the audience sometimes. But by all means, never try to control any audience. Just continue speaking, because in that audience, there are people who are listening to you very keenly, waiting for others to join. You might make them lose their interest in what you are saying. So make sure when you crack the joke and people are laughing, allow them to laugh. Give them some 1 to 2 minutes allowance to really laugh. And then while they start keeping quiet, you can continue. The same thing if they are clapping for you. If you say something very amazing and they clap, allow them clap. Pause and allow them clap. After they have clapped for a while, maximum 1 to 2 minutes, shouldn't even be more than 1 minute, just continue talking. Once you start talking, they will stop clapping or they will stop laughing, whichever one they were doing. But don't try to control them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, man. Any other question?
Are we going to get the slides?
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. I should send the slide to you. So you send me your email address. The audio and the video are too large to the audios are too large for me to attach them on WhatsApp. So I don't know how we'll get the audio. I tried to add them all night yesterday, but it couldn't. But the slide, I can send that one to you. You can use it.
I think there's a clip being done. They send a link, then we can watch it online, like a link.
You can use Google Drive. Google Drive
try.
or
I will still try. I will still try.
You can upload it on Google Drive and share the link to everybody.
Okay. I'll find someone to help me do that. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
He's seen you.
Hello, sir.
Good
I didn't get to
afternoon.
present my 2-minute video.
Oh, that's true. Some people, that was our punishment for those who came late.
Late. Okay. Okay. Can I record and then send to you if there's any?
Yes, please. If you didn't present,
Is you.
yes, please. You can do a recording of 2 minutes and just send it to me.
Okay.
Yes, because our
Okay.
time is fast
Perfect.
spent now. We have maximum of 5 minutes,
Okay,
like
thank
I
you.
promised. It will not lag more than 15 minutes. So we have 5
Okay.
minutes more.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I just want to say that this has been an amazing time and class spent with you. I don't think that the time was wasted. I don't think that even the money that was spent was wasted. I think it's one of the best public speaking masterclass I've attended. Because before I joined Toastmasters, I'm a member of Toastmasters Club
Oh, wow.
Kaduna.
Okay.
Toastmasters. So before I joined Toastmasters, I had paid severally for different public speaking classes, and I learned actually, but it was more of motivation. There was no practical, like something you can go home and put into practice right away. Like I just got now. So this is very enlightening, very educative, and amazing. I want to say thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Okalo.
I'll
I'm very delighted to hear this. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for that feedback.
Thank you, Mentor.
Well done, sir.
Yes, it has been an amazing class.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm still as shocked that I'm hearing this 3x3.
Sir,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we lost your audio for a while. We can hear you now.
Yeah, I say I'm still as shocked that I'm hearing for 3x3 metrics for the first time in this class.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite shocking to me.
Wow.
Because I know how I struggle to write a speech. Sometimes you will do it 30, 40 times to write,
Wow.
you delete, you add, you subtract, you deduct. But with this formula, I think it is a very formidable way to quickly gather your thoughts and articulate it in a very logical manner.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
It's an amazing way. It has been quite helpful for me personally.
My only request is, I don't know whether you are going to break the training. Maybe you do, this is public speaking mastery. If you can do like storytelling mastery, only about storytelling, how to create a story, how to make it powerful and impactful. I think it will be amazing.
Yeah, it will be. These are just the foundational training. There are technical presentation, PowerPoint presentation training, storytelling training, delivery training itself, and so on. But this one was just to give everybody the foundation. But if the class wants other training, what's my job is to deliver it. And to be also very amazing. There are so many tips you need to know when you are telling stories. So much to know.
I know there's no speech that is successful and impactful without a story.
No.
Even international speeches and Toastmasters, international speakers, they completely deliver their presentation based on story.
I agree with you. I agree. Stories are very powerful.
So if you agree, in my opinion, it will not be out of place because you have to be an amazing storyteller. We can give you 2-3 days to prepare because it's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not easy. It's not easy. So we can give you some days when you finish. You can leave the WhatsApp group intact.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you finish preparation. Then we still mobilize other people and see how we can take that story mastery in storytelling and other fraction of skills that make speeches beautiful and nice.
Okay. All right. No problem. Let's do it in 1 week's time.
Okay, it's all right. Is it the consensus?
But I'll be communicating on the platform anyway.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You have really been a pillar in this training. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Thank you.
All right. I think.
Hello, sir. Please, just one. I don't know if it's a question or a comment.
Okay.
Okay, please. I don't know if we could have such for kids so that we could imbibe these public presentation in them.
Yes.
Like when they're so young.
Yes. In fact, another training for kids. In fact, it's for teens. We are organizing something like that at the end of this month on Saturday for teens from 7 to 22 years.
Okay.
We want to help them start developing this particular skill early in life. So that one too is coming up soon. As a matter of fact, this weekend the flyer might come out too. Okay. And that one will be for 1 day because children may not have the capacity to spend so much time. So that one too is coming up. It's 7 to 22 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma. I will communicate that on the platform too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our name on the platform, right?
Sir?
We should drop our email in the platform.
Yes, drop your email on the platform and your name as you want it to appear on the certificate. So you can just write certificate in front, then your name to follow as you will want it, please.
You didn't take the big PowerPoint presentation skills you promised.
Sorry?
The basic PowerPoint presentation skills you promised taking.
Okay, I will look into that. Thank you. Please, I must end this class. See you again, lovely people, by 9 p.m. today. It was nice doing business with you all. Thank you so much. And looking forward to future mutual relationship. Thank you. See you by 9 p.m. today.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.